Good morning, Trump's family. Have a good day and God bless you. Thank you for always watching and subscribing to the channel. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the news. Our food supply chain been under attack with multiple fires. We've seen hundreds of fires within a year here in the United States of manufacturing plants and producers of food here in the US. We've seen the baby food shortages that took place. We've seen fires within the energy sector of this nation around and also around the world. And what we have here, of course, is another fire. What is going on right now in the United States? We know this is a planned destruction of what we see with the regime at the helm. This is why we still have ports that are jammed up, because they have these useless COVID protocols that they have instituted at these docks and these ports where they can't get this stuff offloaded as done. Purposely, we've seen the inflation numbers continue to rise. We've seen the interest rates going up. You're going to see a massive job layoff here in the coming months. And you're going to just continue to see these prices of food and energy and everything else continue to skyrocket while the regime celebrates, as they say they are making headway, but I don't know what they're making headway for, because it's not definitely benefiting you. It's definitely benefiting the uber rich, the people who support this regime that's currently in charge, and people and other nations who want to see the destruction of this country, and it's been done so from within our own borders. So let's go and take a look what we have here. It says what's going on. Ohio BP explosion killed 2 for gas plant explosions sent June. That's a lot. That's a lot since June. 2 employees were killed last night in an explosion at the BP Toledo, Ohio refinery. To BP to Toledo refinery was a safety shutdown in response to Tuesday's night's fire where 2 employees died. The cause of the fire is unknown. Reuters report BP said on Wednesday 2 of his staff were killed after sustained injuries in a fire at its 150,800 barrel per day Toledo, Ohio refinery. The fire was extinguished last night and the refinery was safely shut down and remains offline. A company spokesman said all other staff is accounted for and 1 employee assistant team is on site. That calls it a fire is unknown, but leaking fumes from the crude unit may have caused ignition in another unit at a facility, a source told Reuters. The first report surfaced at 6:35 p.m. So yes, massive fire. The refinery has been in operation for over 100 years on a parcel of land that covers 585 acres and processes approximately 160,000 barrels of crude oil a day. This is the 4th fossil fuel disruption explosion since June in our nation. Reuters also shared that Freeport, Texas Lane LNG was taken offline on June 8, 2020, and will not return to service until mid-November. Freeport, Texas provides 20% of all U.S. the LNG process and one of the largest U.S. exporters in the nation. On July 17, 2020 to Fort Bend County near Houston, Texas, that explosion occurred to a natural gas line. To fire was quickly extinguished. We saw that on August 24, Illinois and the surrounding states experienced a major disruption in fuel distribution front and shutdown at a BP facility in Whiting, Illinois. BP experienced electrical fire at a facility which necessarily the immediate shutdown. That facility supplies in major international airport distribution centers, automobile manufacturer region and the Seaway Corridor for the Great Lakes region. So yeah, we've had a lot going on. This is still a developing story, by the way. A lot go on as far as attack on the infrastructure of this nation from within food, supplies and of course, energy supplies, and we continue to see this take place through this year that we've currently been at, so it's very behoove us to continue to prepare ourselves, prepare your families, continue to stay vigilant out there and of course, keep your eye on what's going on around you because things are going to continue to get more expensive. And then, talking about poison, Biden has been poisoned for the economy. It's official. The Dow is down more than 1,000 points since Biden's inauguration. Let's put that in contrast in the first year. After nearly 2 years in office, the Dow is down more than 1,000 points since the day Biden steps in the office. And if we contrast that with President Trump, the exact opposite is the case. In 2017, the year he took over the executive branch, the economy was on fire. And there were more stock market highs, 71 in Trump's first year as president, than any year in history. But of course, but I'm not rich. I don't care about the market. Do you have any retirement in a 401k? Do you have any mutual funds? Do you have anything? Many folks do have. Working folks have money invested. The market, it does affect you in your retirement? Not everyone, but for those of you who have taken advantage of free money from a 401k, if your employer does matching, it does affect you. And check this out, at the conservative Treehouse posted this Zero Hedge article: inflation costing average American families $11,500 this year. Americans, this is from yesterday from the Zero Hedge. Americans are set to fork over in an extra $11,500 this year, and they want enjoy the same standard of living they maintained in 2020, means almost $1,000 a month more the average family has to make just to get by. Craziness. Okay, folks, the special master intern case actually seems to have a plan that works and is fair and may be advantageous to President Trump and what his legal team is trying to accomplish. Okay, so let's get into this. I think this is very important that we break this down. The judge designated as a special master in President Donald Trump's records case has proposed that a government official swear that the government properly listed items taken from Trump's home in August. Okay, so President Trump is contending with his legal counsel that things were taken that should have not been taken, that were not in the scope of the warrant, even though the warrant was overly broad. And it's not supposed to be over that, right? That's why we have Michael Sandel having on counsel Alan Dershowitz, and he said specifically that it was over the Fourth Amendment. Right. So a review of the verbiage. The Fourth Amendment, of course, having to do with search and seizure. Remember, every man's home is his castle, and the government just can't. So Dershowitz as I played the clip for you specifically, on the Trump team, to legal team to contend against that. So also, as we've reported previously, President Trump also maintains that they may have planted some information. So the special master here is giving Trump and his legal team the opportunity to prove that, once again, he wants a government official to swear that the government properly listed items taken from Trump's home in August. U.S. District Judge Raymond Thiery, the special master, by the way, dairy is a George W. Bush have plenty. Left open the possibility of recommending the government be ordered to return some of the seized materials. He outlined the plan yesterday following an order. That dairy outlined the plan on September 22, following an order that blocks him and Trump's lawyer from assessing materials with classified markings that were taken from Trump's home in Palm Beach, Florida. Once again, Deere was chosen by Trump attorneys and Department of Justice lawyers and put into place by U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon, a Trump appointee. Trumping the DOJ can object to components of the plan. Cannon would adjudicate any objections. Now, Deary's case management plan starts with having a government official with sufficient knowledge of the matter submitting a declaration or affidavit regarding an inventory list. DOJ officials have released. The official would attest that the list represents the full and accurate extent of the property seized from Mar-a-Lago. So Jerry wants on record, okay, I want you to certify, I want you to declare or have an affidavit saying yes, this is a thorough list of what we have done. He wants to hold the Department of Justice accountable for what they say that they have. What they got what they seized from his home. Why is this important? Because there's going to be documentation that the government can be held accountable. So if and when, let's give everyone a deep breath for the doubt here. President Trump's legal team shows things that were seized that were not on that list, or there's things on that list that he did not possess. It allows President Trump to prove that they grabbed things that they shouldn't have grabbed and lying about it because it's not on that list, or there's things on that list that were not in Trump's possession. And he can contend that in fact, look at this list. They said they got A, B, and C. A, B, and C was never my possession. They planted that, or I still have A, B, and C except by habit in Bedminster, or whatever the case may be. So he's setting up the DOJ not in a negative or bad way legally. To hold them accountable, if it's shown and or proven, or there's evidence that they planted information, are they listed information that in fact was, they did not list information that was in fact taken. The official would attest that the list represents a full and accurate extent that the plan is put into place. Trump would then respond with a list of any items listed by the government that we're not seeing from our logo template. Also, these are items that were seized but not included in the inventory. This submission shall be plaintiff's final opportunity to raise any factual dispute as to the completeness and accuracy of the detailed property inventory. So he's gonna give Trump and his legal team an opportunity to prove the framing, the planting of evidence, or the taking of evidence that was not listed on there. The government would then be allowed. There would be some back and forth of which Thiery would be the arbiter of that. Okay. Now, the appeals court ordered from Tuesday does block Thiery and Trump learned from viewing roughly 100 materials that were marked classified and seized from Mar-a-Lago. But here is the good thing. Jerry wants permission to bring a retired judge for assistance. And that form that judges former U.S. Magistrate Judge James Ornstein, who has, quote, experienced with complex case management, privilege review warrant procedures and other matters that may arise in the course of the special master's duties. By the way, magistrate judges are appointed by other judges, but here's the thing. Ornstein has worked with the FISA court, and he holds top secret clearance. Dude, it sounds like no I question, because that's what I do. Right? I'm a true journalist, nonpartisan journalist. I love President Trump. I volunteered on his campaign in 2016. I trust 90% to 95% of his policies, right? But I had to question Derry, right? Especially when people like Andrew Weissman, like, oh yeah, Deere is a great guy. He's such a good choice. You hear that? And you're like, it starts to get suspect. But it seems like Derry is being a very fair judge here. And even working with the appellate court going, okay, I can't do it. But I'm gonna bring in someone who can assist me, who does have the clearance to see these things, and can assist me in this job. I think that is very, very powerful. I think that is very powerful. What are your thoughts down below, folks? Once again, we don't want a judge or justice to be all pro-Trump, or all pro-Biden, we want them to be neutral. So that's where we're at. By the way, Ornstein, should this plan be accepted? The appears that Judge Eileen Cannon would be the one accepted since she was the one that has put in theory as special counsel, and I don't see any reason why she would not. Let's not forget that there is a little injustice here. The Justice Department, as if this whole thing is going on right. Ornstein will be compensated $500 an hour, and Trump is paying for all the costs associated with the special master's work. He's IVIG. This is why it's scary. For the rest of us. The DOJ comes after us. They have the full might and all the purse strings that come with our taxpayer funds. But we must pay out of our limited funds to fend off their legal lawfare attacks. Luckily, President Trump, it's unfair, can afford this. But anyway, it seems to me that Derry is doing a fair job so far as a special master, even though he did have some back and forth with President Trump's people and President Trump's people. I can understand both sides. As like, you're saying that President Trump declassified this stuff? Okay. Well, what proof do you have? And then Trump's team under his lawyer, Mr. Trustee, or is like, well, we haven't been accused of anything yet. So why should we show our defense? So I can see both sides. Argument on that. It seems to me that so far, I don't want to go all in so far. Special Master Jerry and his plan is a fair and good one. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. If you're up for it, I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching.